Today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of dementia. Hi, it's me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. Today we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts for people living with dementia. And the first one is, agree, don't argue. Believe me, you're not going to get anywhere if you argue with someone with dementia, because they believe what they believe. And when a caregiver comes to me and says, my mom and I are constantly arguing, it takes two people to argue. So don't argue. Just agree. It's not going to change. It'll be over in a minute. Divert, never reason. You really can't reason with a person that has dementia, but you can divert them all the time. So if mom's getting a little agitated about something, oh, mom, did you just see that bird out the window? Let's go look and see if we can see the bird. Or mom, isn't it time to have a little snack? So divert. It's much easier than trying to reason, believe me. Distract, never shame. Don't make them feel bad that something happened. Just distract them from it. If they have a little accident with their food or something like that, just make a little distraction. Don't shame them. Don't make them feel bad. Think about it if you were in their shoes. Nobody wants to be shamed. Reassure, never lecture. I have caregivers that have come to me and they're walking around the room and they're talking. I say, is that the way you talk to your mother? Yeah, that's not good. You just sit down, you need to be at eye level, and you need to talk softly, and you need to be reassuring. Now, maybe you have to go outside and take a few deep breaths before you do that, but if that's what you have to do, I promise you'll have a better outcome. Reminisce, never say remember. You know, I'm going to be 70 soon. And when somebody says, remember that, and I can't remember it, it really bothers me. Well, imagine if all day long people are saying to you, remember, remember, remember. It makes it really hard. Recently, I went to visit a friend of mine who is in the late stages of Alzheimer's. And just my normal conversation, I wanted to say, remember. But what I did instead is I rephrased it, and I said, I remember when. And didn't ask, do you remember, or can you remember? If he got into the conversation, good. If he didn't, just let it go. Oh, and never say I told you. Nobody wants to hear I told you. If they remembered, they wouldn't be asking you again. And believe me, they do not remember from 5 seconds to the next. So don't say that. It just makes everybody feel bad. Remember to do what they can do, not what they can't do. It's sad enough for them what they can't do. You know, when a caregiver says to me, oh, mom can't do this anymore, she can't do that anymore. How do you think mom feels when mom's sitting in the chair and she can't do the things that she used to do? Put yourself in their shoes. And remember, there are things they can do. It may take a little longer, it may take a little more effort, but it's well worth it. Ask, never demand. Well, that should be with anybody in the human race. How is it when someone treats you? You want them to ask you, not demand. Encourage, never condescend. As our loved ones are feeling many times, they're like children. What would you do with a child? You would encourage them. You wouldn't be condescending towards them. You would encourage them. So please remember to do that. And when you encourage them, you'll see the light in their eyes, and things will be different. And reinforce, never force. No one wants to be forced to do something. I had a caregiver recently contact me and said, my mother won't take a shower, but she stinks and she needs to take a shower, and she kept forcing her to try to take a shower. Didn't work. Her sister came to visit. She brought big fluffy towels, and she told Mom, after you take your shower with these new towels, I'm going to take you for ice cream. And guess what? Mom jumped right in the shower. So I hope some of these tips help you. Tune in next week for another tip brought to you by Arden Quartz, where all they do is memory care, and have a delicious day.